Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, my friends. So nice to see you all here. Happy Friday, everyone. Friday, June the 19th, 2020. I know that this is also a historical day as there lots of stuff going on in history right now. So kind of an ode to that as well. Maybe a sense of relaxation for today's practices as well. I have to say I have a beautiful class planned for today. Really nice practice. So we will be joining you here. I have my huge, maybe you'll see her 150-pound dog in the background. So she'll be just sleeping here throughout the class. So if you hear snoring, that will be her. Without further ado, let us begin into our practices. So we're going to begin in our seated position, and I'm going to join you guys at the back of the mat. I have a bolster here. You can sit on a bolster or a blanket, if you will, and just begin to come into a seated position here. So as you find your way into a seated position, just find your way into your breath. And I just want to say what a fantastic day we have today. Really amazing to have you, Gail and Dan, in with our practice. And as well to have other friends, Wendy here as well, hopefully, and maybe Marco joining as well. So phenomenal to have you guys here through our class. So great way to start is seated, and I'd like you to just close your eyes here and begin to set an intention for yourselves and for your practice. So as many of you guys know, I've been practicing yoga for quite a decent amount of time, going on almost about 16 years now, almost approaching, this will be moving into the 17th year that I've been practicing yoga. And it's kind of crazy to think about, actually. That is really crazy to think about because it's almost as many years. So as you continue to breathe here, just start to notice your breath in your body and just start to find your way into that space of relaxation. And as you start to notice your breath here, yoga is about taking us to our body. So one of the really beautiful highlights of this practice is just noticing your body as it is. So relax the legs on down. Feel your legs releasing down towards the mat. Feel your belly soft here. Feel the shoulder blades drawing in towards the sternum. And just allow that breath to be long and slow. And I'm going to have you take your hands to the center chest and set an intention for your practice. Maybe your intention is to be a little bit more kind to yourself. Maybe the intention is to be a little bit more kind to those around us. It doesn't matter. Every opportunity we find our way to our mats, we have a new opportunity, if you will, to find our way into the present moment. So I'd like you to take your fingers to an interlace here. Press your palms forward in front of you and really begin to stretch your fingers forward to the front of the room as you round through the spine here. So let those shoulders spread wide apart. Feel the scapula beginning to lengthen out away from one another here as you release the head on down. And then inhale, begin to peel the chest up as you smile here, raising the arms up towards the ceiling. As you exhale here, begin to release the head on down, releasing the head down towards the mat, just rounding through the shoulder here. And as you inhale, begin to peel the chest on through, raising those arms up and allowing the shoulder blades to come into the chest. One more time here. As you exhale, rounding through the spine, releasing that head on down, and just breathing here into a rounded spine. And one more time, inhaling, peeling up through the chest, through the heart, through the sternum. Turn the chest over to the left side of the room. Release the left palm down behind you. Take the right palm, cross it over the top of the left eye crease, and close the eyes here and breathe. So as we find our way into our practice today, I'd like you to find that sense of coming into kindness, coming into love, coming into well-being. Maybe allowing for a little smile to happen here as you breathe into the chest. Inhale, floating those arms up into the ceiling. And as you exhale, turning over towards the right side of the room. maybe saying hello to any of your pet friends that may be joining you in this class today. Breathing into the chest, lifting through the heart, drawing the right shoulder blade in towards the chest. Inhale, raising up through those fingers here, lifting through the fingers. And as you exhale, sometimes they say hi to you. Okay, good girl, Daisy. And as you exhale, releasing those hands all the way down towards the mat. Letting the head release on down and just releasing down all the way down towards the mat. Shaking out the head here and breathing here. So as you continue to breathe here, release the head down towards the floor. Breathe into the back body here. And just start to sway left and right here. So as you begin to sway from side to side, feel into your body and begin to feel into your breath. So the breath is really this amazing component that we can connect with so that we can begin to be kinder to ourselves. So we can begin to be more gentle and find our way back into the present moment. Walk the hands back to the body. Everyone take the legs, recross the legs here, and be here with opposite interlaced cross legs. Again, interlace the fingers here. This time cross the fingers the goofy way. Take the fingers forward in front of you. Inhale, raise the arms up towards the ceiling. Turn your chest over now to face the right side of the room. Place the right palm back behind you. Place the left palm over the top of the right thigh. As you begin to twist, spin the chest over towards the right side of the room. Close the eyes here. Breathe into the chest, the heart, the sternum here. And as you inhale, find your way back to center one more time. And as you exhale, twisting over to the opposite side here. Breathing here into the body. And as you exhale, softly releasing. Inhale, breathing in. And exhale, breathing out. Inhale, floating those arms back up to center here. And as you exhale, placing those hands down in front of you, walking those fingers forward, releasing that head on down. And just breathing here. Breathing into the back of the body, breathing into the shoulders, breathing into the chest. We're going to walk those hands back to the body, and we're going to find our way onto our hands and our knees here. So as you feel ready, climbing up, if you need to place a blanket under the knees, please feel free to do so. Spread across the fingers here. As you spread across the fingers, begin to draw the fingers back to the back of the mat. Inhale, peeling the chest forward and up, lengthening through the sternum. As you exhale, begin to round through the spine here, releasing the crown of the head down towards the mat. Inhale. Peeling the chest forward, lengthening up through the heart, chest, sternum. As you exhale, rounding through the spine, pressing through the tops of the fingers as you release the head on down, coiling the belly in towards the spine. As you inhale here, peeling the chest on forward, lengthening through the heart, chest, and sternum. As you exhale, one more time, rounding the spine here. Very good. So from here, we're going to take the toes and we're going to tuck the toes underneath. See that the fingers are spread wide apart here. Begin to pull the chest forward of the shoulders as you wrap the outer armpits in. As you press down through the tops of the fingers, floating the knees up, pressing the thigh bones back, find your way into downward facing dog pose. Walk the feet a little bit wider apart here as you breathe. So here, begin to add a light bend to those knees and release the head all the way down towards the mat. See that your fingers are extending all the way forward to the front of the mat as your heels lengthen all the way back to the back of the mat. Walk the hands back very slowly towards the feet and find your way into a nice long forward fold here. Keep a bend in those knees and take your right thumb, bringing it into your left elbow crease. Take your left thumb, bringing it into your right elbow crease. Begin to glide your elbows over towards the left side of the room, back to center, and over towards the right side of the room, and back to center. Once again, over to the left,
and back to center, and over to the right, and back to center. Take the hands to the low back here. Press down through the balls of the feet.
Inhale, begin to coil up the chest as you find your way to standing. So as we find our way into standing now, spread the fingers wide apart. See that the chest is lifting up. See that the belly is engaged here as you continue to lengthen all the way through the spine here. Very good. And then as you inhale here, begin to float the arms up towards the ceiling, raising the arms up towards the ceiling here. As you exhale, glide the hands back down to the sides. Good. Inhale, floating the arms up above the head as you press down through the toes. As you exhale, glide the arms back to the sides and allow those collarbones to smile wide apart. Inhale, float those arms all the way up and over the head. Look towards those fingers. As you exhale, glide the fingers back down to the sides. Add a light bend to those knees here. Inhale, glide those arms up forward in front of you here. As you exhale, bring the hands down, maybe to touch the floor here. Take the palms, place the palms right on top of your shins and lift the chest halfway up. As you exhale, release the hands all the way down to the floor. Inhale. Float the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Raise through the fingers here, straightening those legs. As you exhale, gliding those fingers all the way out into your sides. Inhale, floating those arms up in front of you, looking up towards those fingers, light bend in the knees. Exhale, hinging on forward and folding. So this time, as you walk the feet a little bit wider apart, take your opposite thumb. So if you had your right thumb or your right hand forward of the left, then take your left hand forward of the right. So just begin to kind of recross the forearms here and release the head on down. Add a really nice bend to those knees here. As you bend the knees, just begin to sway those elbows over towards the left side of the room and back to center. And swaying those elbows over towards the right side of the room. And back to center. Release those hands all the way down towards the mat. One more time. Take the hands to the low back here. Press down through the feet. Inhale. Begin to coil the chest on up. Smooth the flesh of the buttocks down towards the heels. Inhale. Float those arms up towards the ceiling here. As you exhale, release the palms down into the sides. Very nice. Let's take our hands to our hips and walk our feet wide apart here. So see that your left leg is wide out to the left. See that your right leg is wide out to the right. Begin to turn your feet just so that your feet are facing the right side of the room. And keep your hands on your hips here. Allow your right knee to bend 90 degrees. And begin to straighten through that right leg. Once again, bend that right knee to 90 degrees. And begin to straighten through that right leg. Very nice. One more time, bend that right knee to 90 degrees. As you feel ready, lengthen those fingers out to the sides. And begin to take those palms and raise the arms up above the head. So your chest is turned towards the side of the room. Your right knee is bent to 90. And your left foot is pressing down into the mat. As you exhale here, glide the arms out to the sides. Take your right hand, place your right hand on the right thigh. Take your left hand, glide the left arm up towards the ceiling. If you'd like, glide the right hand down that right leg, any amount, and begin to look up towards that left palm. That's it. Inhale, float that left arm up. Let the arms come out to the sides. Exhale, rebend into that right knee. Hands come to the hips again. Inhale, lift the chest up, lift through the sternum. As you exhale, straighten through that right leg, turn the right foot in the center, and bring both hands to the hips. So we start out here by taking our feet over and turning our feet over to the left side of the room. As you turn the feet over to the left side of the room, feel the feet pressing down into the mat. Good. So take a moment here to feel the feet. As you're ready, Bend deeply into that left knee here. So the left knee bends to 90 degrees. Good. Pause here. So we feel the feet engaged to the floor. We feel our belly strong here. As you feel ready, lengthen those arms out to your sides. Reach out to the sides of the room. And as you feel ready, turn the palms up towards the ceiling. Glide the palms up to face one another. So the left palm faces the right palm faces the left. Breathe here as you hug that belly in. Straighten through that left leg. Bring the left hand to the left thigh. Bring the right arm all the way up towards the ceiling. As you're ready, maybe begin to glide your left hand down that left leg as you keep extending up through those right fingers. Breathing in here, lengthening through that right palm, opening up through the chest. Inhale, right arm lifts us up. Take your hands back to the hips. Bend that left knee and turn your feet back in the center. Step your feet back towards one another and find your way into Tadasana pose. I taught a class this morning that was focused on this concept of opening up our hearts and this concept of freedom. What does it mean to be free? And freedom is a very interesting concept because in freedom, in yoga, the practice of yoga is about freedom. And when we talk about freedom, a lot of times what we're talking about is leading our heart with our heart open, or our chest is broad, our chest is broad. So in yoga, we work from the aspects of anatomy. We work from the physical body. So as you feel ready, take your arms out to the side and really lead with your chest. Really be strong with your chest. Then I'm going to have you take your hands behind the back. You're going to interlace your fingers like this. So you'll take your fingers, you'll press your fingers down into the sacrum. So your fingers are, your knuckles rather, are pressing into the sacrum, and you're drawing your elbows towards each other, okay? This is a very interesting action here, right? Because this is our hands are bound behind our back. Not that, comfortable of a pose. But the thing is, when we take this pose, what it does do for us is it opens up the thoracic region of the chest. As the thoracic region of the chest opens up, you have more space to breathe. Your lungs are more open, and your body is able to feel a little bit more compassion. Take your right ear and move it towards your right shoulder. Draw the head back to center and glide your left ear now to your left shoulder. Bring it back to center. Now take these knuckles, draw these knuckles over towards your right hip, and as you press your knuckles into your right hip, begin to lean over towards the right side of the body. So really nice lateral stretch while we keep the chest open here. Come back to center. Draw the hands over to the other side. Squeeze the fingers in. Firm the outer elbows in. And as you feel ready, leaning over towards your left side here. Inhale back to center. Take your arms forward. This is called a bandha or a bada when you interlace your fingers. Take your palms forward in front of you. Raise your arms up towards the ceiling. So once again, when we take a bada, we're bound. Our hands are bound. But we're working towards openness here. So lean over towards your right side. Feel that stretch along the left lateral cavity, left lateral side of the chest. Inhale. Float the arms up to center. As you exhale, press down through those toes and begin to feel the lateral stretch along the right side of the body. Really nice deep stretch along the entire right thoracic cavity. Inhale, float those arms back up towards the ceiling. One more time. Take those hands behind the back, interlace the fingers here. Press the knuckles in towards the tailbone. So don't press so hard that you're hurting yourself, but just press lightly into the knuckles into that region. Draw the elbows in. So already here we're opening up the chest. And I know, yes, this is a difficult pose to take. It is. Hands behind the back, hands bound. Not an easy pose to take. But when we take this pose, bend the knees here, bend the knees. When we take this pose, what we are doing is we're beginning to open up our chest region so we can breathe better. The idea is here, when we open up our chest, hopefully we have more space to breathe. Lead from your heart. Lead from your love. Lead from your compassion. Straighten those legs all the way up. Take the hands in front of you. Interlace the fingers here. Press the palms forward. Raise the arms up towards the ceiling here. And as you exhale, float the arms over towards your left side. Come back to center here. And as you exhale, float the fingers over towards your right side. Inhale back to center here. Take the hands to your hips one more time. Take your feet a little bit wider apart once again. So the feet are about 3 to 4 feet apart. And glide your hands down your legs. This is called a forward fold. Forward folding poses are the opposite. They're very inward poses. When we take a forward fold, we're actually focusing on relaxation here. So if we're very stressed, if we feel a lot of stress in our lives, forward poses are the poses that you want to take. Now, when we take a forward fold, though, forward folds are very closing poses. They're actually not the most freeing poses, but they're very good when it comes to allowing for our mind to relax and our body to relax. Our mind relaxes usually with the chest openers, but our body usually relaxes when we take forward folds. So our mind and our body in yoga come together. Press down through the hips. Inhale, peel up the chest, find your way up to standing. Smooth the flesh of the buttocks towards the heels. Walk the feet back in towards one another. Walk the right toes into the left. Walk the left toes into the right. One more time. Hands are bound. This is called Bada Goyasana, which just means fingers bound. Bada means fingers bound. Goi is referring to the fingers, the gois. Gois are the fingers. Draw the shoulders over to the right again. Inhale, find your way back to center. As you exhale, draw the shoulders over towards the left. Inhale, back to center. Very nice. Look up towards those hands here. As you exhale, take the hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers one more time. Walk the feet about hips width distance apart here. This is called Bada. There's another name for it. It could be called Bada Uttanasana or Paschimo Uttanasana. Paschimo means reverse. As you forward fold here, see that the hands are on the low back. Draw the elbows up towards the ceiling here. Lean the chest forward. So this is both poses. It is a forward fold and a chest opener. If you'd like, raise your fingers up towards the ceiling here. Wrap your outer arms in. Firm the triceps in towards the midline of the body. See that the navel begins to move towards the spine. Allow the hip bones to lift up towards the frontal ribs as you release the crown of the head down towards the mat. Now take your hands one more time to the low back. Press down through the pelvis. Inhale, peel up the chest. Let those knees bend slightly. Interlace the fingers here again. Bada Goyasana. Interlace the fingers here. Raise those fingers up towards the ceiling. Beautiful, yogis. Take the fingers over to the left side. Come back to center. Take the fingers over to the right side. Come back to center. Place your hands on your hips once again. Step your feet wide apart here. Step your feet wide apart. And turn both of your feet over to the right side of the room. So both of your feet are now facing the right side of the room. Guys, for those of you who have been joining us, I know some of you may be new to this practice. We're going to do a somewhat Tai Chi exercise here. So it's 2 movements. So I'll teach you both of them. The first movement is this. You begin to bend into your right knee. You take your hands and you draw your elbows right along the sides of the rib cage. You press down through the left ball of the foot here and drive the left thigh back. As you feel ready, you press your hands forward as if you're pushing the current of the ocean away from you. You draw the fingers down towards the mat. Imagine you're raking up sand here. You begin to lift up, like as if you're drawing up sand from the earth. You lift up, begin to straighten through that right leg as you drive the hands back, and release the hands down to the sides of the body. We're going to do that 2 more times. So bring the hands up. The elbows are bent here. Bend deeply into that right knee, just like your hands are the waves of an ocean. So imagine a wave of an ocean. This is how it goes. It draws down, it lifts up, it arcs. Okay, so it arcs at the very top. Then it curls underneath. It curls underneath. It drives on back, so it lifts on back, and then it draws all the way down. So guys, do you see that action? We're mimicking literally the wave of an ocean. We take our hands again. So we're the crest of the wave, right? So you bring your hands, and your hands are the crest of a wave. When a wave breaks, it breaks like this. The hands lift up. The arms extend out. Your hands are the crest of the wave. Then your hands come to the peak of that wave. You coil in, and then you pull the top of that wave in. So when the wave breaks, it breaks like this. The chest releases on down, and then you straighten through that right leg. Beautiful, guys. Let's come back to center, and we'll take the other side of the pose. Tai Chi, it's so funny. I have no idea why it's not taught at YogaWorks. I'm not a Tai Chi master. You have to practice it for a very long time. I know how to teach it. I've taken it for like 2 or 3 years. I've taken Tai Chi. But it really should be taught in yoga studios, in everywhere. It's a beautiful practice. So as you feel ready here, you start with your hands at your sides. The elbows are bent. And then, like I said, just like this, your hands are creating the momentum of a wave. So as you bend that left knee, you take your hands and you press the top of that wave forward. You coil those hands underneath. You draw the hands back to the body. Draw the hands back to the body, and you begin to straighten through that left leg as you release the hands down. We're going to do that again. Draw the arms up. Bend those elbows. Take the hands forward in front of you. Push the wave of the ocean forward. If that analogy helps you, please feel free to use it. The other thing that you could think about is you're raking sand. In Japan, this is a Chinese practice, but in Japan, they rake sand at Zen monasteries. So if you guys ever have an opportunity to go to, hopefully you will have an opportunity to go to a Zen monastery, it's beautiful. It is so beautiful. It's one of my favorite places. So as you bend deeply into that left knee, curl your fingers underneath, draw the fingers back to the body, begin to straighten through that left leg, and release the hands down to the side. So that's the movement here as you take the legs back to center. Okay. So now, you have your hands. And imagine within your hands that you're holding a ball. Like you're holding, you could say it's a ball of, I don't know. I mean, something like, I like to think about it like as an orb, like one of those like kind of crystal balls. But maybe you could think of it as like a gumball or, you know, some type of, I don't know, some type of pillow or cushion. You're going to drive the hands over to the left side of the room like this. You're going to take your right hand, place it underneath. Take your right hand on or left hand on top, and then you're going to draw your hands back to center and draw your hands to the other side. So believe it or not, this is an abdominal workout right here. You draw your left hand down. You draw your right hand over the top. You cup the hands, and then you bring your hands back to center. So this is a workout. It's an exercise workout here. As we begin to move the hands, left hand comes on top, right hand comes underneath. Glide the hands back to center here and change sides. So you'll notice here, there's another thing I want to bring to your attention, the legs, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm shifting the weight to the opposite side that I bring my hands. So as I bring my hands over to the left, I'm shifting all of my weight over to the right. As I bring my hands over towards the right, I'm shifting all of my weight over to the left. So if it's done correctly, it should really feel very gentle and smooth. It should not feel like a very rigorous workout, but you're still getting a workout here. So Tai Chi, as it was explained to me, you're getting this like really nice workout, like really, really nice workout, but it's so low resistance that you kind of don't feel it until after it's done. And then come back to center here. Glide the hands out to the sides. Open up the palms. Open up the chest. Open up the heart. As you exhale, draw the fingers back in towards one another. Good. Inhale. Peel the arms out to the sides. Open up the chest. Open up the heart. Open up the sternum. As you exhale, glide those fingers back in towards one another. Inhale, float those arms out to the sides. Glide open through the chest, the heart, the sternum. As you exhale, glide back in through center. Okay, like you have taffy in between your hands, and you're holding it in between. And you can pull it up. So you got your right hand. It pulls it up towards the ceiling like a thread. You ever have a thread and you're pulling that thread, maybe a thread of hair or a thread of string or a thread of something, and you're just drawing it up, and then open the palms up. And then you're going to take the hands back. You're going to take the hands back, glide the hands to the other direction, and then you're going to draw the hands back into center, just like this. You're going to take hold of that string. You're going to coil the hands out like you're pulling that string in opposite directions. Release the fingers. Take the palms, glide the palms up in opposite directions, and then you're going to draw the hands back together. So we're going to do this 5 times. This, believe it or not, is actually an abdominal exercise. So the cool thing, what I so like about Tai Chi, and it is similar to yoga in many regards, but what I really like about Tai Chi is they do these exercises, but you don't really feel like you're doing an exercise. So you kind of feel like you're doing this playful activity here, but you're really actually exercising the body. So it's kind of nice. It's like, it's very low resistance, but you're still getting a nice little workout here. So hold on to that little coil, that little twine, and draw it out, draw it out, draw it out, release, and then glide the hands back. And we're gonna do the same to the other side. So glide the hands back into center, hold that coil, draw it out, draw it out, draw it out, draw it out, and then once again release and bring the hands back to center. So one more time, gumdrop method. So just bring the hands out to the sides and bring the hands back into center. And bring the hands out to the sides and bring the hands back into center. Bring the hands out to the sides and bring the hands back into center. One more time. Bring the hands out to the sides. All right, and bring the hands back into center. Guys, yogis, we're going to find our way back onto the mat. So for those of you who are new to this practice, I've kind of devised this class into like a 50-50, where like 50% of the time we're up and like the rest of the class we're down on the ground. That's kind of the way that I've started to teach the class. So we're going to find our way onto our mats right now and maybe place a blanket underneath the knees. So a blanket underneath the knees is really good here, just to support the knees, and spread the fingers wide apart here. So as you spread the fingers wide apart, we're going to begin to come through cat and cow pose once again. As you inhale, and it should be a very slow action, as you inhale, begin to pull the back of the mat towards the front of the room. So the hands stay planted where they're at, but you're pulling the back of the mat forward as you lengthen the chest up. As you exhale here, press the tops of the fingers forward and round the spine. Coil that belly in and allow the head to release down in between the hands. Inhale. Drawing the chest on forward, lengthening through the chest, heart, and sternum here. Breathing in as you engage the core muscles. As you exhale, rounding through that tailbone, coiling in, releasing the head on down, and breathing here as you round through the spine. As you inhale, peel through the chest, peel through the heart, peel through the sternum. And as you exhale, once again, rounding on in here. Good, yogis. Okay. From here, you're going to take the right foot, press the right foot on back, and allow that right thigh to be lifted. So the right toes are making contact with the floor. The right outer hip is hugging in. The hands are spread wide apart. Close the eyes here. You're going to begin to take cat and cow pose here with the arms just planted on the mat. So inhale, peel the chest up. Exhale, chin comes to that left knee. Inhale, peeling the chest up. Exhale, chin comes to the bent knee. Inhale, peeling the chest up. One more time. Exhale, chin comes to the bent knee. Release that right knee down on the mat and exchange your legs here. Press back through that left heel. Firm the left outer hip in. Firm the right outer hip in. As you press the fingers forward, begin to round the spine here. So just look down in between towards that right knee. And as you inhale here, begin to feel the chest forward and up. As you exhale, rounding through the spine, looking towards that belly button, breathing in here. And as you inhale, coiling the chest, peeling on up. One more time. As you exhale, rounding through the spine, tailbone draws towards the ceiling. And as you inhale, lengthening up through the spine. Release that left knee on down. Very good. So from here, everyone, let's take our hands, and I'm going to face you guys now. I'm going to take my hands onto blocks here. And I place my hands on the blocks. If you don't have blocks, just place your hands onto the floor. I'm just going to change the camera angle so that you guys can see a little bit more. And I'll move this forward. There we go. It's better. Okay. So from here, the hands come onto these blocks, right? And then I begin to inhale. I peel up the chest. Now, take your right leg, extend your right leg out to the right side of the room. Okay? If your hands are on blocks, there's two things you can do. Lower the blocks down like this. You can lower down if you don't have blocks. You can lower the hands down, and you're just going to release the head here. And breathe into that right leg. This is a really nice stretch for the right inner groin muscle. I don't know the proper name of this pose, but it's a really nice pose for the body. It's actually like a split. It's like you're taking a split, but a side split, not a straight split, but a split between the legs side to side. If you want more, lower down your forearms down to the mat. So press through the right ball of the foot, firm the right outer thigh in, continue to draw the belly in here. Press down either through the palms or through the forearms. Allow the sternum to lengthen forward as the tailbone lengthens back. The eyes are closed here. The breath is long and slow. And as you feel ready, you're going to press your hands back up. So come back up, press those palms down, take that right leg, walk it back in, and release the right knee down to the mat. We're just going to come to the other side here. So extend out through that left leg and be here. So I walk the hands right underneath the shoulders. My right hand is in line with my right knee, ideally. And then from here, you can lower down your forearms onto the mat. As you lower down your forearms, press through the left heel. Firm your left outer hip in. Firm your right buttocks in. Feel the belly coiling in towards the back of the spine. And continue to lengthen the chest, heart, and sternum forward here as you breathe. So continue to breathe here as you hug in the navel, allowing the chest to lengthen forward, allowing the eyes to close, and breathing here. See that the sternum's lengthening forward towards the crown of the head. See that your thigh bones are lengthening back towards the back of the room. Now take your hands back to underneath the shoulders again. Inhale, peel up the chest. Take that left knee back into center. Okay. Hands come to blocks again. So if you don't have blocks, just wait a moment. I'll instruct. Hands come to blocks. Place your right foot out to the right side of the room. Inhale. Take your right hand behind your head. So if you do not have blocks, you'll take your left hand down to the mat. You'll turn your right foot out slightly and just begin to breathe here as you look up towards that right elbow. If you're on blocks, you're going to do exactly the same. Everybody's going to lift their right arm up towards the ceiling here. Reach that right arm up. Good. Now, let that right arm lift us up. We're going to take our right forearm, place it on top of the right thigh crease. You're going to take the left hand and place it behind the head. As you press down through the right ball of the foot, begin to turn the chest up, look up, look up, look up. Maybe float the left arm up towards the ceiling here. Spin the left palm over and lengthen through that left arm. Good. Inhale, place your hands back onto those blocks again as you step the right leg back to center. So we're going to do the other side of the pose. Left leg steps out, 90-degree, perpendicular. So the left foot is parallel with the outer edge of the mat. The left knee is perpendicular to the floor. And then from here, or parallel, I guess, in this sense. So you could take your right hand, you could place it on a block and place your left hand on your left hip or behind the head. If your hand is on the ground, just place your hand on the ground and look up towards the ceiling. Maybe begin to float that left arm up towards the ceiling as you breathe here. Really nice opening stretch for the chest, for the heart, for the sternum. Lift that left arm, maybe even drop it back behind you. Nice, yogis. Come back to center. And releasing that left knee on down. Okay, so from here we're going to come into our split pose. So split pose is you take the right leg forward in front of you. Actually, let's start here. Take the right leg forward in front of you and place the hands to either side of the right leg. If you don't have blocks, place the hands to either side of the right leg, just like I am now. Just release the head down and breathe here. So whether you have blocks or whether you don't have blocks, it's fine. You're just going to breathe into that hip. Now walk your hands inside of that right leg and turn your right foot out slightly and release the head on down. This is called lizard's pose. If you are on blocks, you'll take your hands, you'll place your hands inside the leg just like this, and you'll release the head on down. You'll be here. Close the eyes. Breathe. Inhale, lift the chest as you come back to center. Take that right leg and step it on back. We're going to do the same with the left. So glide the left leg forward. Start here. So the right knee is bent rather, the left knee is bent as well. But the left knee is in a lunge, the right knee is on the ground. Breathe in and lift the chest here. So as you exhale, begin to lower that head on down. So if your hands are not on blocks, I'll join you guys. Good. Now take your hands and walk your hands inside of that leg, inside of that left leg, and release the head on down. See that the left knee firms into the midline of the body. Release the head on down and breathe here. If your hands are on blocks, remember you could walk your hands just to center and just keep the hands on the blocks. All right. Right hand comes to the block, left hand comes to the block. Come back to center again. This time, take your right leg, extend your right leg forward in front of you just like this. If your hands are on blocks, right leg comes forward in front of you. If your hands are not on blocks, I'll show you guys from a side angle here. Then you could take your hands and you'll just place the hands on the floor. Begin to lean the chest forward. This is called a split. This is called a split. So remember, we did a split already, but this is a different variation of the split. This is a hamstring stretch. Breathe here. So see that the feet are pressing down. See that the chest is lengthening. Close the eyes. And just take a moment to be with the space of stillness. Okay, bring the hands back to the blocks. Lift the chest, lift the heart up. Come back to center. And then take that right knee back in. We're going to go to the other side. So take that left leg out. I'm just on my side so you guys can see me, but you guys can extend your leg forward, however is best for you, and just walk those blocks forward and release the head on down. You can also take the hands to the sides and release the head on down. If you feel any really pulling in the outer hips, in the hip flexors, then what I'd recommend doing is just adding a light bend to your knee. So you don't want to feel like too much of a pulling sensation in your hip flexors. So really just bending that knee and driving that left outer hip back is a great option here to take. Lengthening through the chest, the heart, the sternum as you breathe. Take your hands to the blocks again. Inhale, lift the chest, and then once again, step that left leg on back. Okay, before we make our way onto our mat, hands come to the buttocks. Inhale, peel the chest up. Just take a nice little heart opener here. Press down the buttocks, flesh towards the heels. Open up the chest. Hug the elbows in towards the midline of the body. Some of you know Ustrasana pose. If you want to take the camel, please feel free to take the camel. Otherwise, just keep your hands here on the butt. Lift the chest up and breathe. The hands on the butt actually supports the back, believe it or not. Then come back up. Come back up. Come back up. And then from here, you're going to lie down on your backs. So now we're going to take a couple more poses on our backs to seal out our practice. So let's start by bringing the knees into the chest, hugging both knees into the chest. You're going to take the right knee, hug the right knee into the chest here, and then you're going to... Okay, yeah. Sorry about that, guys. All right, you're going to take the right knee into the chest. Leave it. All right, you're going to take the right knee into the chest, and then you're going to place the left leg behind the back of both hands behind the back of the left leg. This is called thread the needle. If the head lifts up here, please place a blanket behind the head. You don't want the head to lift up off the floor, so you can place a pillow or a blanket behind that head and just breathe here. So nice little hip flexor stretch. Good, and as you exhale, release the left foot down, release the right foot down. Take the left knee into the chest. Place the left foot over the right thigh crease. Take the back of the right leg here and draw the right knee into the chest as you lengthen that left leg out. Breathe into the left hip. Draw that right knee in. So once again, if the head lifts up here, please, please, please consider placing a blanket underneath your head. And then lowering that right foot down, lowering the left foot down. Good. Hug both knees into the chest here. Hug both knees into the chest. Place your right foot down again. Take your hands behind the back of your right leg as you lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. Flex that foot and breathe here.
Feel the subtlety of the weight of the body as you release on down. Notice the eyes softening. Begin to feel the ears softening. So this will be your Shavasana, guys. So find your way into Shavasana. It's only going to be a few minutes or so, so you can take yourself back into Shavasana and just release on down. Thank you guys for letting me know. The battery on my recording, on my little microphone device just kicked, so sorry about that, guys. So noticing here that breath of yours as it moves in through the nostrils and the breath of yours as it moves out through the nostrils. And just to begin to feel that subtlety in through the breath. Noticing here the softness of the eyes to the back of the head, the softness of the ears from the outer ear to the inner ear. Begin to feel the breath as it travels across the temples, the skin of the forehead, across the cheeks, over the lips, the top of the right lip, the bottom of the right lip, the top of the left lip, the bottom of the left lip. Begin to feel the mouth here, the skin of the mouth, even the saliva of the mouth here as you continue to breathe. Notice your throat open, engage throat, and begin to feel here that release along the throat. Collarbones releasing here, collarbones releasing towards the trapezius muscles releasing down the tricep, skin of the tricep, bicep, elbow, forearms, wrists, and your fingers. Begin to feel that breath traveling in towards the chest, expansive, nourishing breath. And as you exhale, feeling the softness of the body as it melts down, just like gravy as it melts into mashed potatoes. Feel that releasing of the belly here as it softly spills down all the way towards the ground. Pelvic muscles releasing here, tops of the thighs releasing to the backs of the thighs, knees releasing, shins releasing. Feel the tops of the feet releasing to the backs of the feet. Feel the entire body releasing from the plumb line all the way out through the sides of the fingers, sides of the feet, entire body relaxing. And then from here, you could take a hand and place it over the belly and a hand and place it over the chest. And this gets back into our theme today, which is freedom. Freedom for ourselves, freedom from oppression, freedom from all these things. Remember, in order for freedom to arise, there needs to be some sort of construction. So even if we are seeking freedom, there has to be some form of a template. There has to be something that holds us together. Freedom in and of itself, without any type of boundaries, it's not good. We need to have that balance of freedom with ourselves while we feel that connectedness to the world. So that's the goal of yoga practice. It's this kind of combination between inner and outer, this balancing effort, if you will. So as you continue to have that hand towards the chest, hand towards the belly, really bringing in that sense of love and compassion towards yourself. Gently begin to bring those knees to a bent position. Rock your knees right and left a few times here. Begin to roll the weight of the body over towards your left side. Using your top palm, gently begin to press your way up and find your way back into a seated position. 55 minutes, believe it or not, you can transform yourself in 55 minutes. You could feel come into the class one way, come out of the class a completely different way, just because you had some time to focus on yourself. As you take your hands to the center chest, lift the heart over towards the hands. Feel that chest. Remember, we started today's practice in Tadasana pose. opening the chest, opening the heart, that idea of really a lifted chest here. And as you lift the chest to the hands, maybe joining me in a collective Om, if you will. Taking a deep breath here. Releasing the chin towards the chest. Taking the palms to the thighs, palms face up. Gently lifting the head. And lifting the hands. Namaste, yogis. Thank you guys so much. I hope that you all have a lovely rest of your Friday. A really beautiful practice today. Very gentle, very smooth. So I hope that you guys had a wonderful class. Really nice to have you, Gail and Dan, as always. Wendy, what an amazing surprise. Amazing to have you in class. I love when you guys practice. I was sharing this, I taught a class this morning, and I was sharing it with the class this morning, how having you guys here is really it's my inspiration. So when I see you guys, even if you just have 5 minutes to show up, even if you're like at work or whatever, and you just pop in and say hi, it really brightens my day up. So I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Please be kind to yourselves. Go out on a walk. Have some, nourish yourself with some good food, good energy. Take some time, show some compassion to each other, be kind to your neighbors, be kind to your friends. So these are all things that, sometimes when we're stuck in our minds, we forget, but please, please, please keep coming back to that. Thank you guys so much also for letting me know about the sound. I'm sorry about that. The sound is something that it will cut out because I'm using this little device on my little, I'm using a little device here. So have a wonderful day, everyone. My name is Jason Gorenstein. For anybody else who's tuning in, this class is Integrative Wellness. We do this class every day at 3 o'clock. Thank you so much, Wendy. Thank you so much, Gail. Have a phenomenal weekend, guys. I have a couple classes this weekend if anybody feels like popping in. Like I said, you don't ever have to pop in for the full class. You can always pop in for a second. Oh yeah, that's Daisy. She's a pretty big dog. She snores a lot though. But she's a great little dog. She loves to get into the yoga. She loves to do yoga. So have a wonderful rest of the day, everyone. Everybody be well, be happy, my friends. Namaste, yogis. Thank you guys so much. I look forward to seeing you all very, very soon. Bye, guys.